Jai Baba to all of you. We're here today to celebrate Bal Natu, the wonderful close one of the avatar, Meher Baba, who many of us have met and known and loved and been have enjoyed, whose presence we've enjoyed, whose stories we've enjoyed. And as part of this celebration, we're going to be having a biography written by Karen Talbot that we'll read. And I have also selected a few readings, 3 readings that of Bal's own writings that I think give a glimpse into him and how he approaches Baba, and we'll have some sharing. So how about I share screen and we will get started. But first, I have to do this and this because I did not prepare that. And let me see. There we go. Because we're going to be reading this. Can you all see? Bal.
I can see. Very beautiful.
Okay. Well, this is the wonderful photograph that Karen included in her biography. And I'll get started, and then I'm going to be asking some of the people present to participate in the reading. So this is Bal Natu, which is how we know him, but his full name is Chintaman Vishnu Natu. And he said, "This matchless are these Meher moments." And Bal said that on April 23rd, 1955. His early days. Bal Natu was born on January 24th, 1919, to a Hindu family in Kurdwadi, British India. Bal first saw Meher Baba in 1933 when Baba entered the railway compartment in which 14-year-old Bal and his family were traveling. Bal was deeply moved by him, but didn't know who he was. It wasn't long before Bal learned who Baba was. Well, Bal came to know sometime later that it was Baba he had been traveling with. Bal wrote, "This occurrence was instrumental in kindling the desire to know more about him." As a teenager, Bal suffered from pulmonary tuberculosis. When his father died suddenly, Bal began to look to spirituality for relief. A neighbor gave Bal a book on the life of Meher Baba in Marathi. Bal began corresponding with Baba in 1943. In response to Bal's first postcard, Baba wrote that he could ask him any questions. Instead of asking him questions, Bal wrote back, "I wholeheartedly wish to learn the alphabet of spirituality at your holy feet." Meeting Meher Baba. Well, Bal read about spiritual masters. He wanted to meet someone in the body who was truth realized. The next time Bal saw Baba was on the Nagpur railway platform before a darshan program Bal planned to attend in 1944. Bal was now 25 years old, and this was his first opportunity to see Baba. Although he was weak from tuberculosis, he came to Nagpur from Kurdwadi, his hometown, to be in Baba's proximity. While he was on the same train as Baba from Manmad, Bal traveled in another compartment. When he saw Baba, he totally lost himself. He felt enchanted. Observing this state, a thief picked his pocket, stealing his wallet and train ticket. Fortunately, he saw the ticket collector, who was an old friend of his. Bal wrote, "So when I met Baba, I instantly became penniless and directionless." Michal, would you like to continue reading?
Yeah, that's beautiful. More time spent with Meher Baba. In 1944, Bal began his career as a school teacher. Bal attended Baba's darshans and was able to meet Baba during holidays and summer vacations. In 1944, Bal stayed at Meherabad. Later, Bal and his friend boarded the same train that Baba was on to attend Baba's darshan in Madras. When Bal arrived in Madras, he was invited to stay under the same roof as Baba. On the first day of darshan, Bal met Minu Karas and Meherji Karkarya. Minu told Bal that when you are in Baba's company, one should concentrate exclusively on him. He suggested that Bal write impressions of the visits and meetings with Baba in a diary form. Baba also asked Bal to be a note taker and keep a diary. These writings live on today. For Bal, the second day was precious. Baba gestured, "You will have liberation, mukti." On April 5, Bal left and traveled with Baba on the same train. While Bal could visit Baba whenever he wished, he was to give 2 days advance notice. Bal used all his holidays in 1947 and 1948 to visit Baba at Meherazad, later at Guru Prasad, and to also meet Baba on his travels. The New Life, October 16, 1949, 1952. The New Life is very coming close right now. The New Life of 25. Bal attended the New Life meeting at Meherabad, held on September 4, 1949. All participants could choose to join Baba on the New Life by writing yes. Bal wrote yes, but because of his fragile health, Baba released Bal from his oath. Baba had one of the New Life companions, a lawyer, write that Bal would remain with Baba in his new life to the very end, but sent Bal back home with other orders. How fortunate.
Excuse me, Michal. Feel free
Yes.
to read as much as you are comfortable reading, but you can ask for another reader whenever.
Okay, but please, please intervene when it's too much, okay? Spending more time with Meher Baba in 1950s. Another memorable visit with Meher Baba was in 1953 when they were on a rowboat. Bal sat next to Baba. Bal wrote, "It was the first time in my life I sat so close to Baba, and that feeling is indescribable." Bal attended the men's meeting at Meherabad on September 28 and 30, 1954, where Baba gave the final declaration, which describes his role as avatar. Baba asked Bal to translate the final declaration into Marathi. Bal also attended to Baba's Marathi correspondence. The one thought Bal had whenever he parted with Baba was when would he be back with him again. Summers at Guru Prasad. Baba graciously allowed Bal to stay with him at Guru Prasad for 5 or 6 weeks during his school holidays in 1957, and then each summer from 1959 until 1968. During an early visit, Baba asked Bal and Digambar Gadekar to come to Guru Prasad and take notes. Bal's chief responsibility was handling correspondence in Marathi or Hindi when Bao was unavailable. Erich first read them out in English. Bal read them to himself and conveyed the gist of each letter to Baba. When the summer holiday ended, Bal would come for the weekends. Bal enjoyed the intimacy, the card games, and the camaraderie. Bal wrote, "I had traveled with Baba in India and had been with him at Meherabad and Meherazad, but by far the most time I spent in beloved Baba's presence was actually in Guru Prasad." In 1960, Bal was invited to spend 10 days at Meherazad, which included his birthday on January 24th. Baba gave Bal a gift of a copy of the Master's Prayer, and Bal decided to rededicate his life to Baba at this time. Since God Speaks contained many Sufi and Vedantic terms, Baba was reviewing a new glossary that had recently been written to be included in the book. Bal read out each word and its meaning, and when required, Baba would correct a point. The glossary was compiled with Baba's approval to help readers understand the terms. Bal had a November Meherazad stay on November 3, 1968, which was the last time he saw Baba. Baba invited Bal more than once to attend Amrit and Dara's wedding held in late December. Bal did not want to use his vacation time. He wanted to save his vacation time for the Great Darshan in April 1969. I'm willing to let someone else
Okay.
read.
Eugene, would you like to read now?
Eugene? If not, I can
Okay,
read what
okie dokie.
Right
Let's
here,
see.
Paul's birthday.
Hmm. I can't enlarge it on my
Paul's
screen. I'm
birthday.
sorry,
Can
it's
you
too
see that?
small to see.
Shall I read? You want me to?
I'm unable to. I just.
I'll read if you're not
Ball's, Ball, I think I can read for a little bit. Ball received a birthday greeting from Baba the day before his birthday in 1969. On his birthday, January 24, Ball sent money for tea and a sweet for Baba, kari, a small puff pastry. When the women Mandali were going through some of their precious possessions from days of Baba, they came across a garland. This garland was special because it was the last garland they placed on him when he was in physical form on January 24, 1969. There was a small note attached to the garland with its history. On January 24, Baba remarked, "It is Bal's birthday today. Garland made for the occasion." It was only years later that Bal learned of this and was immeasurably touched that Meher Baba remembered him and, in remembering him, had accepted a garland for the last time. January 31, 1969, Bal went to Meherabad when Baba was lying in the crypt. Alaba told Bal that Baba remembered him on January 31. Earlier, Bal had prepared a board to write the quote, befitting a fortunate slave, end quote, message of Hafiz. Bal had one of his students with good handwriting write out the couplets. Bal had Alaba write the Persian above the couplets. Alaba, Alaba said on the night of January 30th, Baba had the board brought to him. On January 31st, the board was placed in Mandalay Hall. When Alaba told the story to Bal, Bal wrote, "When I heard that, I felt what love, what compassion, what unconditional love." After 1969, Bal attended the Great Darshan in 1969. In 1975, he became a trustee of the Avatar Meherabad a public perpetual charitable trust. Wow, that's a mouthful. Ball retired from teaching in 1977 and moved to Meherazad. Ball attended trust meetings and he also worked at the trust office in Ahmednagar during the week. Ball lovingly shared stories of his life with Baba during the days of pilgrim visits to Meherazad in Mandalay Hall or the record room. After Pendu passed away, Ball attended to the details of the Amritithi meeting gathering.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Eugene. I think I'll take over now.
Thank you, Baba.
Jai Baba. Books. During these years, Bal wrote many books about Baba and those who discovered Baba and how they did so. Bal quietly touched the lives of multitudes of Baba lovers around the world, not only through personal contact, but through the volumes he wrote about Meher Baba. And here's the list. Avatar Meher Baba Bibliography of 1928 through February 1978, compiled by Bal Natu. Conversations with the Awakener, Flowing Conversations with the Awakener, Intimate Conversations with the Awakener, More Conversations with the Awakener. Glimpses of the God-Man, volumes 1 through 3. So volume 1 is from 1943 to 1948, volume 2, 1949 to 1952, volume 3, 1952 through 1953, volume 4, February through December of 1953, volume 5, January through March 1954, and volume 6, 1954 through 1955. Intimate time with Meher Baba, our constant companion, Avatar Meher Baba, Samadhi, Star of Infinity, Tales of Meher Baba's love, When he takes over. Baba passes away. Bal passes away. Bal died in Meherazad on October 7th, 2003. His body was brought to Mandali Hall. At his request, he was cremated at Meherabad. Some of Bal's ashes were sprinkled at his favorite places at Meherabad and Meherazad. His brother took Bal's ashes to the confluence of 3 rivers sacred to Hindu tradition and scattered them in those rivers, which were about 30 kilometers outside of Pune. Bal's family and his friends attended alongside.
What's that?
Bal asked this passage to be read at his death. This is something from Meher Baba to Bal in Madras, April 1947. Summoned by Adi, Bal entered the room and without any introduction, Baba gestured to him. You will have liberation. Let your love flow on ceaselessly, like a stream down a mountain on its way to the ocean. Obstructions there will be, of pleasures and pains. Pass by these as passing phases. There will be flowers and thorns by the bank and in the flow. Do not get attached. Do not get affected. Go on and let the stream become a river. Doubts may assail you. Roll on, flow on to me, the ocean. Worry not, fear not. I am the ocean of love. Remembrance of the Lord. In 2002, Bal gave each person at Meherabad a special New Year's card with his writing about the amazing secret of time spent in Meher Baba Samadhi. The cards were also sent to Meher Baba centers and to their members. And I would like to ask you, Michal, to read this.
Okay. Remembrance of the Lord from Bal Natu. Remembrance of the Lord, a prayer to be offered in silence to the Silent One. O Lord Meher Baba, as I breathe, let my remembrance of you be a renewing music, ever ringing and singing your glory through all the activities of my life. Let your holy name become my very breath, and the soft rhythmic humming of it, the song of my life. As I remember you, may the pure essence of your luminous being touch my finite self. May your touch purify my feelings, thoughts, and actions, making them worthy of being offered as loving gifts at your feet. May your remembrance usher in the harmony of body, mind, and heart, so that I may live to honor your wish and to please you. If, with your grace, I wipe away the past, may I fill the present with the sweetness of your name and continue to play in your game with me. Your remembrance is the only remedy, but this I often forget. However, when I remember you, it is merely in response to your loving grace showered on me. May every moment be a celebration of your glorious presence, and I be the recipient of your loving guidance. Guide me to listen to your music with the ears of my heart, and to witness your dance with the eyes of my heart. Let me listen and watch your divine sport with deep appreciation, yet unattached to the melodies or the movements. May I remember and be absorbed only in your presence. May the remembrance of your name help me to hold on to you throughout the delights and trials of life, ever guiding me to your abode in me. This is my prayer to you, O Lord Baba. Bal Natu, 10th July 2002.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
This comes, yeah, thank you, Michal and Eugene. And this brings us to the end of the lovely biography written by Karen
Karen.
Calvin. So before I take it off the screen, did anything jump out to any of you?
Yeah, first of all, that he was with Baba at the beginning on many train rides. He would just.
Yeah, he was 14. Yeah, he was 14 when he first laid his eyes on Baba.
He was what?
14 years old.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? Wow. By chance, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, wow.
Sometimes I know that something up here, I love that list of books. Something, oh, this isn't exactly about him, but it's a little bit of history on that board that Baba asked to be brought to him
Yeah.
on the day he dropped his body, that Bal had prepared a board to write the message and had one of his students write out the couplets, and that Aloba wrote the Persian above the couplets. So is that the board that hangs in Baba's bedroom, do you think?
No, this is one that says it's placed in Mandali Hall. In Mandali Hall, where Baba's chair is, on the entrance on the left wall, where Erich used to live with, to sit
Yeah.
with his back to, that when you come in the entrance at the left side wall, right at the corner at the beginning, there's this board. I saw it last time that I was there.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that, because I find that very interesting. So someone
Yeah.
else someone else created the board in Baba's bedroom.
The other one, yeah, and
Okay.
they're different a bit. I think the other one is bigger, and there's another one in the cabin where Baba was brought on the hill.
Mhm.
So if you go into the cabin and where his stretcher is placed on the wall, right as you enter the cabin, right on the facing wall, then above that on the left side is also a big signboard
Okay.
with the same couplets.
And okay, thank you for that. Any other comments? Okay, then I'll take this down.
She writes the most beautiful biographies. Very.
Yes, I think that was really lovely. And so I'd like to continue with some readings that I have chosen from the Samadhi Star of Infinity. And I think they're very beautiful, and this will be written by Bal Natu himself. So I'd like to start, and these are three different readings that really struck me. So give me a moment. Here we go. Yes. That's the one we're going to read last. So I want to read page 85. Okay. Where is it? Here we go. It's from the chapter called Universal Face, which I find very interesting. And now I have to make this larger. So people like it when I do that. How's that? So I've marked where we're going to read, and it starts with this green and it ends with a little pink mark that looks like red. So it's like a signal. Eugene, would you like to read?
From every avatar?
Yep.
Every avatar comes to be associated over time with an historic image that symbolizes a major aspect of that advent. For Jesus Christ, this was the face bowed in pain on the cross, expressing his infinite suffering. For Buddha, it was the face reflecting transcendent serenity as he sat in the lotus posture, eyes closed. For Krishna, it was the face of the flute player, his features alight with merriment and humor. Just as the avatar has a universal mind and a universal body, of which I know nothing and can say nothing, for some of his lovers, he also assumes a symbolic universal face. The universal face is not necessarily the same for all, but in every case, it is that face in which all other faces, with their variety of expressions, naturally merge without losing their grace and beauty. All the faces of the avatar are subsumed by this one face. None are negated by it. Rather, all are individually glorified. When Meherabad veiled his physical form from humanity in the crypt at Meherabad, his face alone was left unshrouded for the 7 days of his lying in state. This face, our last image of the avatar's beautiful human form, has become, for me, Meher Baba's universal face. And, as if in confirmation of this, I noticed that the trailing rose bush that Helen Daum painted, which blooms beneath Baba's feet, in the painting in the north window of the Samadhi traces back into the crypt where Baba's face lies. It is almost as if the roses emerge from their source, the universal face, reminding me of it. The expressions of all the previous avatars can be seen in what is, for me, Meher Baba's universal face. The suffering and humility of Christ, the serenity of Buddha, the strength of the prophet, and the humor of Krishna, the flute player, which reveals itself in a supreme irony. Many of the people who visit the Samadhi think that Meher Baba is dead and they are alive, when in fact, Meher Baba is fully alive and they are dead. What an infinite sense of humor. And so the prominent avataric expressions of infinite suffering, compassion, strength, and humor are manifesting silently with ease and grace through Baba's universal face in the Samadhi, helping us to focus our attention on him, the avatar, as the eternal awakener. This universal face with its star is latent in everyone and in everything. It contains all of creation, and all of creation bears its inner imprint. Everything is perishing except his face.
Thank
Mhm.
you, Eugene.
You're welcome. You got a picture of that, Diana?
You bet I do.
Awesome.
In the book.
Mhm.
There it is.
Yeah, that is a picture that I find hard to look at.
It's very hard to look at. And yet this is what he calls the universal face.
Yeah, but I was thinking as we were reading that it was giving his, it was allowing him not to be painful about Baba's departing.
Mhm.
This image that Baba gave him, this universal face that Baba gave him, kept him thinking of that instead, and of the universality of Baba's being, rather than concentrating on his death and losing his presence in his body. So
Right.
yeah, for me it is painful. It's also painful for me all those photos that they show Mara when she's breathing at these times. I just can't look at these things.
These photos and this picture, it's kind of like these Renaissance paintings where you see, the
Yeah,
suffering of Jesus and people longing for him. I totally agree with you.
yeah, yeah, it hurts
And,
my
and
heart.
yet also at the same time, there's a sense of peace in the face.
Yeah, and you must remember that people used to come into the samadhi at that time. Baba used to open his eyes, he used to talk to them, he used to animate himself
Yeah,
because he was not dead. Only his body dropped. He only dropped his body. So he used to animate himself. So we
yeah,
can't really know what Bal, when he came into the samadhi at those times, what he saw. So maybe when he sees this picture, photo, this face, the way we see it, he doesn't see it like we do. He sees the animation that Baba gave at that time to all those people who were there.
yeah. He has such a strong inner relationship with Baba that's one of the things I wanted to show in these three selections I have, how strong it
Yeah.
is. So how about we move to the next one? Um, let me see, on page 8.
Eugene, what do you think about this photo? Are you feeling the same?
Oh yeah, I must say I like this one because previously didn't. I sort of skipped over the pictures of his death face, I guess you could say,
Mm-hmm.
of his dead body. But I kind of like this one. I mean, I'm just the way it's printed, the colors or the sepia tones are soft, and
Mm-hmm.
he looks contemplative to me,
Yes,
like
yes.
he's contemplating,
Like,
and because I don't really also agree with Ball's assessment of Jesus's face always being associated with the suffering on the cross, because I also think of all those wonderful pictures of him with lambs and with where he's a strong young man, really. Um, and but yeah, I'm sure it's a major part, I guess, is his
mm-hmm.
last few days on the cross. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I guess I'm seeing more Buddha, I guess, rather than Jesus in this. Who were the other two you mentioned? Ram and Krishna. I'm not so familiar with
Krishna,
their
Krishna.
their
Yeah,
faces.
yeah. The more that we are looking at this, staring at this picture, the more it feels serene for me and easier to look than when I usually open up a page and suddenly see this picture with the colors, even with the flowers and full body.
Oh,
So
good.
I'm seeing more of calm on Baba's face here, and it's more I'm more able to not hurt when I look at it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
And
same here. I mean, it's like I won't skip over those pictures of in the future. I'll look at them now too.
Mhm.
So thank you.
I like that he calls it the universal face. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's
interesting. Yeah,
it's one of his many links to Baba. Can we move on to the next reading?
yeah. Hmm.
Okay. So, what page are we on here? Oh, we're close. Here.
Think he's
Okay, now this is going to be a piece about the last time he was with Baba. And would you like to read this one now?
Don't you want to read this one?
Yeah, starting here at the joy.
Me? Okay.
Yes.
The joy and bliss experienced in Meher Baba's physical presence will ever remain indescribable. How can one explain the presence that is at once overpowering and yet not the least oppressive or domineering? In Baba's profound purity, the whole burden of self identification seemed to fall away, and the mental mechanism of assessment and comparison was stilled. The result was a feeling of lightness and trust in him. Whenever I used to gaze upon Baba's face, it would sometimes appear that the entire drama of humanity, with all its joys and woes, was being expressed through its features, along with the bliss that he radiated. There was a sense of detachment, and when he was visibly suffering, there was an expression of compassion. In my inner journey with Baba, through all the changes in my life, my longing to be in his physical presence became more and more intense. In July 48, through a letter written to under Baba's direction, I was permitted to visit him during school vacations or whenever I was granted leave, provided I was also free from any family responsibilities. Many times I took advantage of this blessed opportunity to be with Baba, and yet somehow I took this privilege for granted and did not realize its deep significance or regard it with the profound gratitude with which I should have. My last stay with Baba was at Meherazad in November 1968. Before leaving, I folded my hands to Baba, who was sitting in his chair in the corner of Mandali Hall, and asked his permission to go. Baba nodded his consent and raised his right hand in a gesture that meant, "Be happy." As I reached the door, however, Baba called me back, and with a tender, intimate smile, he looked at me and gestured, kiss me, then go." At the time, I never imagined that he would soon veil his body from our sight, but Baba knew, and in his loving compassion, he saw to it that my last farewell should be sealed with a kiss. That touch of my lips on the Avatar's cheek became the everlasting wellspring of my love for him. In later years, when I went through some physical and emotional trying times, that kiss sustained me and helped nourish my ever increasing trust in him as the Ancient One. Such is the grace of the Avatar.
Thank you, Miha.
That's so touching.
Yeah, and it's so personal.
Yeah, Baba is so amazingly loving and sweet and beautiful and friendly. And, Baba is so simple in his ways. He's not, like that you're going to die and you're not making a big thing of it. You're just knowing that you want to give this lover a chance to kiss you.
Right.
So can you think about the beautiful friendliness of the Avatar, the simple warm-heartedness. Beautiful. Oh, Baba is.
Yeah. I think anyone who's touched Meher Baba's body, cherishes that memory. But here, Actually, Bal was invited by Baba to kiss him, which is especially sweet, I think.
Yeah, but also the timing, that he knows I'm not going to see him anymore in the body, and I want to give him this gift. I want to give him this beautiful gift. And so this warm-heartedness of the avatar and those simple gestures of just humanness, it's so beautiful and so touching.
And it serves as a what do you call it? Example, for our own behavior.
Yeah.
That take the time to be sweet to people.
Yeah. And simple, friendly, not even sweet, just natural,
Sweetly natural,
and
naturally
even
sweet.
and
Yeah.
even and even not when you're sweet, when even you're a bit in a mess or but we feel comfortable with each other, we feel friendly and we're not, okay, so that happened, but you know you know what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah.
Be natural.
Yeah, be natural in those very little gestures of humanity to each other, friendliness to each other.
Very nice. How about we go to our last reading? And let me see, page 30. Which way do I want to go? That way. Give me a second. Okay. This is a little long and I'd like to read it, but if I can't handle it, I'll ask someone to finish it for me. And this is about, we've looked at universal face. We've looked at the last time that Bal Natu saw Baba. And now this is where is Baba? During the next few years in the early 70s, I would be struck time and again by Baba's active dispensation of love to those who would visit him in the Samadhi. People would also pour into Meherazad from all over the world at all hours of the day and share their stories of Baba's loving presence in their lives, felt especially when they were in the Samadhi. I was drenched in the showers of their love for Baba as the eternal beloved. But my mind would ask, but where is the fountain that is showering us with this living water of love? In talking to Indian Baba lovers and listening to their stories, I also felt Baba's love very strongly. I would often be reminded of places I had been with Baba and of darshan programs I had attended, especially those at Guru Prasad. Various incidents of my life with Baba would be replayed in my mind with sudden vividness. Each time, my heart felt illumined as if a light had been turned on. But again, my mind asked, but where is the generator that is providing the power? With Meher Baba's veiling of his physical body, the form which had been the focus of my thoughts and feelings for so many years, I felt as if my link to Baba had in some way been disrupted. I would inwardly ask Baba, where are you? I felt that if I knew the answer to this question, it would help me reestablish the same sense of rapport with Baba, which I had felt before. I wondered, should I try to picture Baba now in the Samadhi? But somehow there seemed to be a contradiction in associating Baba's divinely dynamic personality with a place which he used to sometimes refer to as his final resting place. My mind was in a state of extended suspense, awaiting a resolution to this turmoil which would appeal to my heart. Some years later, this distressing problem was finally resolved by an experience which, even to this day, I find difficult to categorize. One morning in May 1987, I was resting on my bed at Meherazad with my eyes closed, waiting for the call announcing that the car was ready to leave for the trust office in Ahmednagar. Baba chose this moment to reveal the answer to my question in a way that not only totally eased my mind, but also consoled and convinced my heart. While resting, I suddenly found myself in the midst of a kind of waking dream. I saw myself standing on the platform in front of the Samadhi at Meherabad, just to the right of the door. There was no furniture as there is now, no cabinets or benches. No one else was present. It was all blissfully quiet when, most unexpectedly and to my great surprise and joy, I saw Meherbab and Erich, one of his dear disciples, coming up the slope from the south. As they approached the platform, Baba asked Erich to wait at its edge. He then walked gracefully towards the door of the Samadhi, his arms swinging, hair flowing, his eyes flashing brilliantly. He gave me a glance of deep intimacy that words cannot convey, then entered the Samadhi. I waited with great anticipation for him to come out, trying to decide how I would greet him. Should I bow down to him, do this or that or what? Just then, from inside the Samadhi, I heard a deep voice with a sweet ring to it, and the words resounded, I am here, I am here, I am here. These words reverberated throughout my whole being. Just then, I heard someone calling my name, saying that the car was ready to go to the trust office. As I opened my eyes, I found myself uttering the word, ever. My heart was filled with an inexpressible joy. I felt deep within me that Baba had clearly shown me he is there, he is there, he is there in the Samadhi as the ancient one, ever divinely vibrant, responding to the calls of those who visit him for darshan or think of him wherever they may be. Thus, thinking of Meher Baba in the Samadhi has come to be for me the same as thinking of him when he was visible in the physical body. This has become the natural way for me to feel closer to the presence of the avatar, the infinite active consciousness that assumed human form as Meher Baba. Since that day, Meher Baba's living physical presence in the Samadhi has been for me a fact beyond all doubt. Jai Baba.
That is interesting. That is interesting because they had to make the transition. That is very hard for them, which is not hard for us because we have known Baba without the body. And we know his living presence wherever we are. And we don't need to make this transition, but they who experience his gestures, his quick facial changes in the face and the hands and everything, and smelled him and saw him and the movement right in front of their eyes. For them to make this transition into his living beyond the body is very hard. So he had to help them. And he helped each one in a different way. I think Bal later on in all his intimate books, he describes Baba as living and coming to him in the body wherever he was in one of these stories of intimate conversations. So I think that later on he did not only attach Baba to his samadhi as a living entity, physical entity, but I guess that at the beginning they needed that, each one of them, because they almost went crazy, all of them. They missed his body so much. They missed his liveliness. Can you imagine living next to this avatar who was in the body and the energy that he exhumes outside all the time? And Baba was an energy battery, a real energy battery. He wasn't like a meditative monk. He was full of gestures and moods and everything. So it was really, really hard for them to make the transition. So each one of them had to make a transition.
That's a good point. And also, I'm also thinking that, first of all, this book that we've been reading from was called The Samadhi, Star of Infinity. So he has a strong feeling about the Samadhi.
Mhm.
And um, also for Adi Kearani, he would tell people when he used to travel, go to the Samadhi and have Baba's darshan, because that's the act. That is it. that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
where he is, and you take his darshan and you've been there with him. And I think that's,
yeah.
very, very interesting. But Bal Natu also had such stories in his mind and feelings about so many things, because I remember his talking about the bed that now is in the blue bus, which is the bed on which Baba dropped his body, and how
Mm-hmm.
he would like to go and touch that bed,
Mm-hmm.
because for him that was another link
Point.
to
Wonderful
be
point.
to be with Baba. So
Mm-hmm.
he's so sensitive to all these things, and he shares it beautifully. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but Bao also Bao also stressed the importance of the samadhi. I think it is what I feel. What I feel. I've been very connected to samadhi, and I I'm I don't know why. From the beginning, it was a very strong place for me. Not that I had any kind of experience there, by the way, any kind of visions or any voices or no. I just go in, I go out. I don't even know what is happening to me when I do that, but or pray. And I do spend a lot of time in the samadhi when I every visit that I am. I really love being there, but I don't have any kind of experiences there. But I do feel that, like through the windows of the samadhi, it's like Baba Sea is coming through the windows of the samadhi and pouring all over the Meherabad hill and pouring over into the world, going into the world through there constantly, like waves of Baba's energy. But so I feel Baba right here, in my house here in Israel, wherever I am. Um, but what I think is, it's like what I say to people who go to Meherabad. I say, well, first of all, you have to say hello to the one who is the focal. We call it a man of the house, right? Man of the house. I don't know how you say that in English. We have you first go and give your you give your hello to the main person in the house. It's like you're coming to the king, right? You're coming to the king, so you don't say hello to all the people. You first go to the king and you say hello to the king. Then you can say to the ministers and talk to the court people and all that. But first, you come and do that, because he is the main person. So the samadhi for me represents that you first of all you come and say hello to Baba, and that's his main seat is in the samadhi, because everyone was pointing to that, like Bal is pointing to that, like you say, Adi Kairani was saying that, like Bao said that. Some all of them said that the focal point is not like in Mandali Hall. You first come to the Mandali Hall seat, right? Then you bow down before you go to Baba's room or to other places in Meherazad, but you first go to the Mandali Hall seat. So that's the main seat where represents Baba's presence. So in Meherabad, that is the place. And it's like Baba Babaji used to say, everyone has a gift. Everyone has a gift that is in the Samadhi, which is written, your name is written on it. And when you come and bow down, you get that gift that is waiting there for you. And if you don't do that, you don't get that gift.
That's okay. That's very beautiful. I was in India once when Bauji returned from his trip in America.
Yeah.
They took, they, he comes directly
Right.
to the Samadhi. He doesn't go to the trust office. He
Yeah.
drives directly to the Samadhi.
Yeah.
And I remember on this one trip, he was collecting, I don't know, people would put wishes in this paper bag.
Yeah, yeah,
I was there, he dumped the paper
yeah,
bag. You know, there's nothing
yeah,
in there that we can see, but he brought it to Baba because
yeah,
his whole trip was for Baba, and he brought everything back to Baba.
yeah.
It's
So
absolutely
it's like a seat.
awesome.
So the samadhi is like the seat. It's like the main seat of the king.
True,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. Mm-hmm. So
But as Bal Natu says, if we think of him there, then we're with him,
yeah, but now we are thinking of each one of us in our homes, and he is with us.
and he's
You
with us
see?
here. Yeah,
Yeah, and we do feel that.
I
So
agree.
so yeah, so it's not only that we are connected to the samadhi, and if we're not connected to samadhi, we don't feel Baba.
Mhm.
Baba actually, once you say this hello to him, then maybe the gift is that he goes with you everywhere you go, you know. But we also have to remember that the main work for many seclusions and times and years and fasts he did there in Meherabad Hill and in the Samadhi. So that is, we don't know. Baba's work is unfathomable. We don't know what he put there, you know.
Thank you. Thank you for these thoughts. I want to move on to one other area, but Eugene, did you want to say anything about what we have just read?
It's not about what we just read, but it was just a very brief anecdote
Okay.
from on Mayor Baba Travels page
Okay.
for Bal Natu. So once at Meherazad during the 1960s, Baba called Bal into Mandali Hall. Baba jokingly pointed to Bal and made the sound for cracked, indicating that he was mad. Yes, Baba, Bal replied. Whatever you say. Baba then called in several of the Mandali and gestured again that Bal was cracked. And then he added, but there is a place for you here.
That's not
Yeah.
an easy position.
Yeah.
That guy is mad, but he's gonna be with you, but he's mad.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, we didn't explore that part of. I guess we'll do that on another program for Bal. That aspect of how Baba saw him as mad, because I didn't really get that. I
No,
don't
no.
get it.
Yeah.
I mean, you met him? Did you meet him personally?
No.
Okay,
He was not mad at all. He was so pedantic, you know, a very very
Th
sin
that's
person.
my impression. Yeah, that he was
Yeah,
a very
very,
careful person, very
yeah, very pedantic, very careful.
precise, kind of
Yeah,
very intellectual, maybe. Yeah.
yes, and also dressed so nice always, not, not messy, nothing. And he also always collected a very soft heart and kind, very soft voice, and very delicate like a flower because he was sick and thin. So not at all crazy. So it was a joke that Baba,
oh yeah, it was just the opposite of how he was. Yes, and that you've taken us directly where I wanted to go. I was
Oh,
wondering
great.
you had met Baba, not Baba, if you had met Bal, and if you would like to share any experiences or stories about that.
Yeah,
So,
no, I never have.
okay,
No.
well, perhaps, Michal, would you like to say
I
something and then
want
I'll
to
say
share
something?
just one thing that I heard, which was very, very beautiful. When Baba passed away, and there was talk who's going to be keeper of the Samadhi, okay? And of course, Mansari was one of the main people to take care of the Samadhi throughout these years and clean it and take care of it when Baba was in the body. So in the Samadhi Hill. So who's going to be the one of the main caretakers of the Samadhi? And because Bal Natu really loved, that's what I heard, okay? That's the story that I heard, I didn't read. So because Bal Natu very, very much loved it, and so did Nana. So did Nana. So there was who's going to be the one to be the caretaker there? And what I heard was that Bal Natu gave Nana the honor to do that. So he gave up on his own love for being there and taking care of the samadhi. So that is how he loved the samadhi so much, because not everyone wanted to be there on the hill and take care of the samadhi, but he was one of the ones who was really wanted to do that, and so was Nanakir. So that is one of the things that I heard. Another thing was, yes, Bal Natu was very kind, very, very soft and kind. Now, when I came to Meherazad, I didn't always feel comfortable. I loved being in Meherabad. Meherabad is my heart place. And I love being in Meherabad, no matter even if it was hard for me to be there, because sometimes pilgrimages are hard. So not not easy or not comfortable, but good, of course, for the soul and scars that Baba was working on. But Meherazad, I didn't feel homey. I always feel on edge in Meherazad. So other people, there are people who felt better in Meherazad with all the company of the Mandali, and they felt very free with them and felt very homey with them and all that, which I didn't. And so Bal Natu was very shy and not with all urge and money and all the pilgrims that were moving from these shiny souls from one to the other. So Bal Natu was always on the side, and Merwan was always on the side. Same kind of gentle kind of beings in Baba's love. So Bal Natu was very aware, I guess, that I was on the shy side when I was there, and on the side of when I was there. So one day he just, when everyone was somewhere, going through all these things and excitement with the mandalis, then one day he took me on the side and he started talking to me very quietly on the terrace, very gently and very quietly, about how I am in Meherabad, what it means to me, and what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And I felt very, very unintimidated by his very gentle approach and very sweet, soft nature. And he asked stories of that things that I went through, and I shared with him, which I didn't share with many people. And I shared with him, and he really enjoyed. But he really was aware that he really was aware that of my discomfort, and he took me into this very gentle cocoon of his own presence on the side terrace, and talked to me so quietly and so unintimidated me to be very open with him. And also, I'm very thankful to him, because he asked me, "What are you going to do? And when you go back?" And I said, "Well, I'm thinking of," I was between jobs. So I'm thinking, before I was a kindergarten, I was working in a publishing office. So he said, "What are you intending to do when you go back?" So I said, "Well, maybe I'll translate books. Maybe I'll translate books." So he said, "What kind of books would you translate?" So I said, "Well, maybe science fiction. I really like science fiction, because I feel that science fiction at that time, those years, it was very spiritual. The science fiction was actually on the line, very close to spirituality and to what futurality would look like." And so he said, "Well, why don't you translate a Baba book of mine, any Baba book of mine?" And I said, "Oh, that is very nice. I would love to do that." So he actually encouraged me to wait for a moment. He encouraged me to choose any book, and I always liked coming to Baba's Baba stories. People coming to Baba stories books. So he said any book he would take, just give the trust to the uh, copyrights. And he said, and he gave me, he said, I want 1,000 copies. I didn't, just he gave me the number, 1,000 copies. When you do that, give 1,000 copies, and you can do any. I trust you how you do that. So I did that. One moment. That's it. So I did that. It's called Baba Ba, which is Baba Has Come. And I got copyright for it. And it's Bal Natu when he takes over. When he takes over, it's one of the books in the list at the end of the list that you wrote. And the copyrights is from 63, and I published it in 1988. That's the first year that I was, yeah, I finished in 1988. No, when did I finish it? 1995. 1995. But 1988, that's the year that I came to Baba. So it's also something special. And when I look at the translation, I would do it a bit different now. I would do it more light in the text, but it's people read that and they say it's fairly good.
I'll tell you something. Here in Asheville, we have a copy of that book
Oh,
in Hebrew at the Mac Library.
oh, you saw it? Oh, nice.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I sent them that, and I also translated God Speaks. So I sent them God Speaks too. So
Right.
yeah. So, but actually, this was my first. His initiative. His was the first one that I go on these things, and I dare because it's short stories, and so it's really nice and a nice way to be with Baba. And I thank Bal for that, and I thank him for his very sensitive nature and gentle heart, uh, where he realized what I was going through when I was there and the discomfort that I was feeling, and how he made this little cocoon place for us and gentleness. And so, Bal Natu, I send you love and I thank you for this beauty that your gentle heart and your sensitivity and the way that you ushered me in more steps into Baba's love. Thank you, Cheva.
That's very sweet. You know, I had a similar Bal Natu reached out to me also in a similar way. I was in Meherazad, I don't remember which year, and I was really being bothered by something with someone else, and it wasn't working, and I just not in a good mood at all because in India it's not always it's not always unicorns and rainbows, as you know. And so Erich, I believe, was in Mandalay Hall and people were in there listening, and I just couldn't do it. I was just too obsessed with whatever I was thinking. So I was sitting outside on the veranda close to Mandalay Hall. I don't know if I could see in. I was down a ways, maybe in the middle of the veranda, with my back to where the buses would park and facing the building, probably looking you know, at one of the great pictures with the writings under it.
Mhm.
Um, and I was just sitting there, and Bal Natu walked by, and I guess I had misery written all over my face. And he sat down across from me, and he started talking. And it was just really, really sweet of him. He was reaching out, he was saying lovely things. I wasn't ready to hear it. I wanted to be in my miserable place. And so I poor Bal, it didn't help, and he just eventually gave up and walked away. I feel so bad for him when I think of it now because he was reaching. He was doing what you were just said. He was offering this cocoon of safety and gentle.
Gentleness, yeah.
And I couldn't go there. I was I I couldn't crack out of this really negative place. But he was reaching out. He was sensitive to that sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's actually the same story as mine, the same gesture of his kindness. But you are entitled, by the way, to go through your moods, you know. That is one of the things that Baba is allowing. He doesn't need you to be just taken out of it, you know. You are entitled to be through it.
Another time I visited him, this was a different year, and he wasn't particularly well, and I don't know what year it was. And he was he was in a new room. He used to have a room off the veranda, which is the room where we would go and rest when we were visiting. And where we would see like a suit hanging and maybe a glass with a toothbrush in it. And these were all his worldly possessions. I never knew that. When I learned that, I was dumbfounded. I couldn't believe that he had so few possessions. I'm talking, he could carry them all in a little suitcase. Anyway, he was now in another room. He had a few more things on the windowsill. And he was lying in a bed, and I believe it was a hospital bed because it was elevated a bit, and he was not resting flat on his back, but he was like, on a hospital bed, you can raise the top half of it so you're half sitting. You're kind of reclining gently in it. So I went to visit him there, and he was same Bal, and we chit chatted. He had photographs in that room. There were photograph albums, and I also wanted to see the photographs because I love looking at photos. And I may have just sat there and looked at photographs while he was there and just maybe talked with him about them. I really don't remember that part. But then we just got on to just stuff. I mentioned to him that I didn't sleep well. We talked about how to deal with not sleeping well. And he had a method that I thought, and he shared it with me, that I've tried, and I don't know if it's put me to sleep, but it has really helped me feel more relaxed in bed. And he said that when he couldn't sleep, he would recite to himself very, very slowly the Pravartagar prayer. Slowly, 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 internally. I don't think he said it out loud. And he would think about each word. He would just say it in his head, in his mind, slowly. And apparently it definitely helps me feel at ease to meditate on these words because they're such beautiful, important words that Baba has given us. And I just wanted to share that because he shared that with me. And he said that, sometimes he also just took a sleeping pill.
Yeah.
He couldn't sleep. But it was just really, really sweet of himself. I keep saying sweet, but he was. And it's not in a sugary way. It was in a
Glowing.
kind, masculine, loving way that he was sweet.
Yeah, flowing. He was flowing.
Yeah. And so on that visit, he also wanted me to tell stories about myself. And I'm not good at telling stories about myself, so he didn't get what he wanted. But he was still gracious about it.
Yeah, he loved stories of people, yeah.
A gracious man.
Yeah, he was.
100%.
Yeah, and can you imagine, there are very, very few people that Baba told them that was their last life, right? He told him, you're going to be Mukti next, that's it, you're going to be Mukti. When he saw him in the very beginning, we read now your passages that you brought, he said to him, you're going to have Mukti. So there were very, very few of these that Baba said to them out knowingly in front of others also. That is what you are. That's what I see you are going. One of them was this man who was very funny and very strange if we're talking about cracked, like he seemed, they used to laugh at him. The working box wala, the one who used to type in the trust. Baba also told him, "That's your last life. That's your last life." And people used to laugh at him because he had all these distinct mannerisms. You probably met him. I didn't meet him, and I know that he helped Baoji a lot in Lord Meher in the English and the typing in the volumes. He helped him a lot. So, but they used to laugh about him, his mannerisms. They used to mimic him, how he talks and how he with his nose or whatever. And but he, no matter what, he was also its last life. So this is very unique. Just knowing that Bal Natu, as Baba saw him so early in life, he said to him, "That's it. You are finished." Can you imagine?
Yeah.
We met a man who was completely wiped off after that, finished with this life, with this toil.
Well, we're very lucky today to be celebrating that life and to remember Bal with such love and affection. And I feel like this is kind of a nice place to close. We've all said nice things. Are there any other things that just must be said before? Thank you, Marjapan. That must be said before.
Yeah, talking about these people is not talking only about these people, it's talking about Baba and his presence and the way he treated each one of them and the way he treats us. So it's really just a way of remembering Baba's life and celebration of life, that he was so kind to open up for us and through these people. And thank you, Baba. Yeah.
Let's just say thank you, Baba.
Yeah, and I want to say, Diana, again, you